I need to hear some noise here. Wow, you guys are still just getting warmed up. But I just wanted to say it's been a wonderful, wonderful crowd. You all have been all brilliant. The last 2 days have been extremely heartwarming, and that has nothing to do just with the weather. It's the energy that you guys have brought in. So big round of applause for all of you guys. Great. So this is the final day. Let's just make the most of it. Let's just get excited. Welcome to the stage, gentlemen. Are you all excited and nervous? Because I am. Before we kick off, I genuinely, this thought just happened in my head. Amit and Rohit, were you separated at a Kumbh Mela? I just... Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Not twins for sure.
Welcome,
Thank you,
gentlemen.
thank you.
I think it's just going to be brilliant. Let's kick things off right off the bat. To quote Steve Jobs, he ended up saying that innovation is actually the distinction between a leader and a follower. So no pressure on both of you. But a great anecdote to lead you, gentlemen, into my first question. The All Blacks team, right, is considered to be one of the best teams in the world as far as across sport. And they have been using AI and tech for the longest time, probably one of the pioneers, to ensure the physical performance and the longevity of the athlete. So I was just trying to get into that mindset and ask you two leaders to tell me that GCCs were built for scale and efficiency. That's at least how they started out. And today, the need of the hour is innovation. So I would love for both of you gentlemen to shed light on this.
No, thanks for asking. So we all know the GCC journey, right? So they have evolved from, from a cost play to talent to the capability play. But one thing I want to underline before I talk about talent and capability, one should not ignore the cost topic, because cost is also integral to the strategy, right? So if you'll hear any group CEO talk, yeah, they want to be cost competitive and yet gather more market share. So when it comes to the foundational aspects, yeah, what is actually working for GCCs as they now take a pivot to really transform, I would say there are 3-4 key elements of that foundation. So one is the strategic alignment. So now the GCCs are the enterprises, right? So while of course in this external forum we are using GCC, internally within Swiss Re, this is Swiss Re India, right? There's no distinction between headquarter, Singapore location or India. And that's the starting point, that this is aligned at the global executive level. That's number one. Number two, with the same extension, it's that one team view, one team mindset, that this is not a class B setup or has a very defined mandate. Yeah, that becomes super critical. Topic number three is, the GCCs have to have an end-to-end view. So what has happened is that most of the centers, and I'm sure each of us would have our own experiences, they either started as an operations center or as a tech center, and they are evolving. And it's okay if you start as a small, mid-size, or you have become too large. I think one needs to really go to the end-to-end frame, that we have business, ops, tech sitting together, we are covering the entire value chain, this is a microcosm, and only then the value gets delivered. And then the fourth element I would say is the business impact, which we need to focus on. Now, if you have all these foundational elements, eventually what happens is that there's more mandate, more ownership, more accountability, more global roles which come to these locations. And with this, the mandate to drive transformation, innovation happens. So what I'm trying to highlight is the entire linkage. We cannot just say, hey, let's just drive innovation. You need to build the foundations to earn that spot so that you are in that position to drive the innovation.
Rohit, what are your thoughts?
No, so adding to what Amit said, right? So it's been a journey. I don't think GCCs just leapfrogged or overnight became, the hubs for innovation. A lot of the stuff that Amit said resonates with me, because at the end of the day, the core has to be extremely, extremely strong. If your foundation is weak, you cannot build anything on top of that, right? And yes, there's a big shift that's happening from focus on cost, focus on arbitrage to value. In my mind, if you look at just the macro level, maybe there are two things that impact that. One is the fact that the world is much more interconnected over the last few years, maybe 5 to 7 years. Huge amount of technological changes that have happened, and companies have had to keep pace with that, right? At the end of the day, they've required to make sure that they are more consumer facing. They've faster in terms of innovation, getting speed to market has to be much higher. And what they've done is they've required diverse talent, technology, analytics, data. And that's where the GCCs come in, right? Amit spoke about co-location, the fact that you have the talent there, you have the ability to be able to do pilots, you have the ability to scale them and create a much better ecosystem for the enterprise is what enterprises are looking for right now. And that's where GCC is strong. The other one is people have been on the right? I mean, so last 2 decades, people have actually been part of the GCC ecosystem. And what that has done is that, people have now become ready for taking on senior roles. And these are the people that are getting now accountable roles, global roles, senior roles, which I think is very, very helpful because that's what ensures that whatever you're doing in the GCC is not being done for the GCC, but it's part of the continuum of the enterprise. So the senior people here, the global people here are actually driving mandates which are global mandates, right? And that I think is one of the most critical things in this evolution. We are not, GCC for UHG. We are UHG. We are Optum. We are one company. And that feeling has to embed deeply into the organization.
Rohit, actually, I'll follow up on that. As leaders, there's always this invisible pressure. I personally feel that way because there is a huge level of expectation that a lot of people have of leaders. Everyone is looking up to you, as both of you gentlemen, as a lot of the people sitting here in the crowd. So at the fore of it all, even when you are not on the job, when there is at a subconscious, subliminal level, there is this constant need or pressure, call it, to think out of the box, to pivot, to come up with bold bets. What have been those probably in your journey as a leader which have helped your GCC innovate rather than follow the entire thought of innovation?
Oh, great question, right? And it's sometimes not just invisible pressure; it's visible pressure too. So Optum is part of UHG, United Health Group. We're a Fortune 3 company. Optum is a services healthcare innovation firm, and I represent the GCC, which is Optum Global. We're based out of India, Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Ireland, and we focus on creating integrated solutions, which are helping us provide a seamless experience, better health outcomes and quality to all the members and the patients that we are privileged to serve as part of UHG. So 2 things that I think have been critical on our journey over the last 2 decades. The first one is maniacal focus on the consumer, the customer. So we all know, the US healthcare is extremely fragmented, it's complex, right? But it's changed, it's evolved over the last a few years. It's becoming more individual, it's becoming more personalized, right? And that requires everyone to be very focused on the needs of the consumer. And we do the same thing in our GCC, right? In our setup. We put the consumer at the center of everything that we do, which helps us not just create better service quality, but also new products, new solutions. So we're always thinking about what is it that we can do to serve our consumers better, to create a better experience for the people that need, to be able to lead a healthier life. That's our mission, helping people lead healthier lives. And so we have to continuously think about that. The second one is innovation, right? At Optum and UHG, innovation is one of our core values. Optum Global, best position to do that because we get a view of the entire, like a microcosm of UHG. Everything that happens in UHG happens here. So we get to see the end-to-end. We get to see multiple capabilities. What we've done is we brought all our elements of innovation together. We created a multifaceted platform that we called Innovate, a little play on words. So that is helping us get deep insights into operational workflows, tech workflows, keeping the consumer at the center, bringing data, tech, analytics, process together to be able to innovate and thus make healthcare more accessible, more affordable, and simple, right? And all of this, innovation culture is critical. Maybe two examples quickly on the innovation culture, right? So we do something called, forget the name, but we do a crowdsourcing way of getting ideas from across the organization. My belief is that my team that represents transformation is not the team that is not the only team that's supposed to drive innovation. Innovation is the role and the responsibilities of the 300,000 people that we have at UHG, and everybody needs to take part in that. So what we do is we encourage the frontline staff, the people that are closest to the understanding the experience through our products and services of our consumers. They come up with ideas, and we support them through tools, through technology, through mentorship to actually go and implement those ideas. So that's getting from the front line, right? The other is large ideas, big ideas, where we actually get our top talent to work in teams to solve large, complex business problems. Maybe not to, should not use that word, but it's like a Shark Tank based event that we do.
That's
But
nice. I'd like to participate, but yeah. Anyway, carry on.
so this covers the entire spectrum, right? Small ideas, big ideas, because again, my view is that, when we talk about innovation, transformation, we're always looking for that, big leapfrogging idea which is going to change the world. That doesn't happen, right? Every idea, every innovation starts small, and you have to continue to build on top of that. So those are the ways in which we've been able to really drive innovation within the company.
That's actually very, very interesting and wonderful. Amit, I've been hearing this term AI. Have you heard of it? Just
It's a
wondering.
new one. I learned
Isn't
here.
it? Yeah. I was reading up on it. Yeah. So anyway, the question to you. Everyone seems to be talking about data being the new oil, right? That's wonderful. But also, how is it that with this extremely dynamic and fast-paced understanding of AI and tech, the way it's changing, and it's changing landscapes really, really quickly, how do you believe GCCs can leverage that AI and tech, also your own for that matter, to add value to the enterprise?
Yeah, so AI, and especially with the advancements that we've had, I truly believe this is the transformational technology, right? So this is not like those Gartner's curve, a new tech which has emerged and every 2-3 years it fades down. This is here to stay, and this has to be embedded all across. Yeah, it has to become pervasive. When it comes to the GCC frame, I think some of the surveys highlight that nearly 1/3 of the GCCs are actually working on real business use cases on the AI. So there's already been a very solid traction. And the remainder of them are looking at POCs, exploring or upskilling, reskilling the talent. So I think I would say the traction is really high across all the GCCs. It depends on the maturity, at what level they are playing. But I have to also highlight that there's nothing called a AI strategy for GCC. Yeah, the AI strategy is always at the enterprise, at the group level, right? And again, going with the same logic as I just shared earlier, that the GCCs are just another enterprise, another location of the group. And if it's the group strategy which is getting implemented, and then how can GCCs amplify, accelerate, build those future-ready capabilities, and that's a connection that we need to develop. From a Swiss Re perspective, we are in a very unique business model. So Swiss Re has been in existence for 160 years, always remained top players across the group. And our business model is very interesting, that we sell a solution for which we don't know the cost. We only estimate the cost. So for 160 years, we've been doing data analytics, right? So these terms are not new to us. But of course, with AI, it totally changes the paradigm, right? So you can relook at how you're approaching on the topics. So if I just give you a frame on how we are looking at it, it's 3 simple things, yeah? One, what is the breakthrough idea? What are the bold bets that we should deploy? So for example, if to underwrite, since you talked about oil, so oil refinery needs to be reinsured. It will take 2-3 weeks for an underwriter to go through the past experience, risk understanding, and various data sets. Now, through AI, deploying 100 plus agents on different tasks and activities, and having experienced underwriter as human in loop, this can be done maybe in 2 hours, right? So this is like totally relooking at how your core engagement, core activity of a company happens, right? So that's like those disruptive way. And even from a consumer standpoint, right now, all of us have, bought some insurance products. But these are very standard products which we all have. It's not customized to my needs. But through AI, you can actually create more personalization, right? Again, that's a big, bold opportunity that we are talking about. Number two is the efficiency play. So whatever we are doing, can we do at a lower cost? If 10 humans are doing this, so maybe in the future, 5 humans and 5 agents, AI agents can actually do that. And the third thing is more on the personal productivity play, that each of us will have multiple agents at play who will be doing various tasks and activities, both on the personal life and professional life. So we don't need executive assistants maybe going forward because a lot of those activities will happen. So it amplifies the productivity for everyone. So these are the 3 broader high-level themes that we are talking, and then coming up with those use cases which create global impact, or create value in terms of enhanced revenues, lower cost, or better risk insights. So that's how we are looking at it.
Wonderful. Rohit, I'd actually like to pick up from what Amit just summed up for all of us. Sorry, I think somebody was boiling eggs. Okay, no.
Breakfast is ready.
Yeah, probably. There is this constant need to keep making changes in the organization in terms of the structure, and Amit kind of shed light on it, maybe not directly, but in a way that it's happening, whether you like it or not. So, what are the kind of organizational shifts in this particular market, in this particular day and age, especially with the speed with which technology is influencing all of those factors? How are GCCs adapting to those organizational changes and pivots?
Yeah, I would say maybe 2 things here that come to top of my mind based on my experience, right? One, I personally believe this co-location of talent is absolutely critical to go up the value chain and the maturity for GCCs, right? If you think about it in the US or in other countries, it's not easy to get ops, tech, data, analytics, AI, all under one roof, right? And that is where the GCC really trumps, right? It's a very powerful model because think about it, right? When you are a technologist, if you get the opportunity to see how the workflow works from a business or an operations standpoint, if you're able to sit with the operating person and understand, hey, what are the problems that you're facing? That is the best way that you can get feedback and ideas to improve the tech. Similarly, for an operating guy to sit with a technology person to understand what changes are coming, right? What are some of the problems that they can help work together to solve is absolutely, absolutely critical, right? I mean, my belief is that that's where the magic happens. If you're able to bring these people together, these insights together, it is also very, very important to get a diverse perspective, 5 different people looking at the same problem and finding different ways of doing things, but then converging into something which is going to be really powerful. So I think that from an operational construct is what is really driving this change. And the second one is the point that I made earlier, which is, global roles. I think I was reading somewhere that over the last 2-3 years, there are, I think, 40 to 50% more global roles that have come to the GCCs to India. I think that is really helping us become more agile. It is helping us make sure that the enterprise alignment is stronger because we're not just, developing something, right? We're actually part of the strategy, building the strategy with the stakeholders across the world, and then are executing on that. So think about go-to-market, think about new product development. That becomes really, really important and accelerated in this kind of environment. So those are my 2 top things, that come to my mind.
Amit, talent is an extremely important ingredient in this wonderful little evolution and journey that one is taking. I believe the next decade is just going to be extremely exciting with the way things are changing. Talent is something which I feel is a wonderful little spark but it needs to be honed, right? And that's where leaders come in. How do you identify talent? How do you see it in this ever-changing landscape? And how is it that you want to nurture it, ensuring that the GCC and that entire module and understanding grows in wonderful ways?
Yeah. No, you rightly said. So talent for me is right at the center, yeah, for any transformation that we are talking about. So if this is an AI-led transformation happening, we have to ensure that talent is upskilled, reskilled, not just from a technology standpoint, but also from a business understanding, the domain understanding, because we are not trying to create a technology marvel. We are trying to solve a business problem or identify a business opportunity and seize that opportunity. And from a mindset perspective, I believe that needs to change. So technical one side, business understanding, and then the third point I would say is the pure mindset. I think one of the strengths and the weakness of Indian talent is, so we are very good on the execution side. So you give us a task, a challenge, a defined way, and the teams will deliver, they'll stretch, stress, whatever they want to do it. But are people really owning it up and thinking with a consumer frame, from a global frame? I see that as a gap. Yeah, I mean, of course, there are always exceptions. But this mindset, if it evolves from a pure execution only to ownership driven, that I would say would be a game changer. Right? And from a GCC perspective, we also have to understand that it is not just technology and data. So we have to also build those business functions in our locations. And we need to also have a talent development progression journey in that. So for example, in our organization, we'll have an actuarial development path, underwriting advisory path. So basically you pick up all the disciplines and how you're gonna enhance the learnings, capabilities, give them the exposure. And it's not just trainings, right? It's an actual global assignment and they have to deliver on that, right? So to me, it's critical and multiple ways to look at it.
Rohit, it's very pertinent when it comes to your module of business. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it's the medical field in a big way. The human side of things are at the core of every discussion, I'm pretty sure. Talent is one of those. So how is it that you maybe sensitize that entire discussion and ensure that that is at the center of everything that you guys are developing and moving forward with?
Yeah, no, so we heard about this number last couple of days, the 1.9 million that are there in GCCs, right? I was reading up that, that number will probably become 5 million by 2030. Now, while that is a big number, my view is that, that's not the way we need to grow, right? This cannot be, keep adding people again and again and again. It has to be a non-linear curve, which
Don't worry about the bell. That was just Sejuti.
Again, breakfast, right?
Yeah.
So, and I know we've got John D after that, so we'll be quick. So the talent needs to be talent that can be innovative, right? We have to be able to do more for less. And we have to get to a place that we'll always focus on talent. So I'll talk about two things that we do at Optum, right? So one, Amit spoke about pathways and various ways in which we are upskilling. Huge focus on upskilling our people. We've collaborated with various edtech companies that are focused on domain knowledge, which is critical for a company like UHG. You cannot be generous. You have to understand coding, RCM, clinical, payment integrity, blah, blah, blah. But also training people on AI, training people on design thinking, product thinking. And coupled with that, the second thing that we're doing is we've got a strong talent mobility and a gig program, which is helping people understand, get a broader perspective of the company. So don't focus on one area, get an opportunity to work in another and another and another. You learn from leaders. And then you build a very diverse and a holistic view about the company. So those are the two things that are really helping us develop our talent in a very good way.
Wonderful. I just want to thank you both for a brilliant session that we've had. But before I let you go, a platform like this, for example, a summit like this, AIM, MachineCon, the GCC Summit, how do you believe are these kind of summits going to be pioneering the cause of innovation and the exchange of ideas and all of the knowledge, which is extremely important moving forward, I guess. I would love for both of you to shed light on that, and a message at the end of it all to everyone sitting here.
No, I think this is a fantastic platform, literally locking everyone in this beautiful place. I think we really need the power of the ecosystem, right? Because on one side it appears the gold rush of GCCs, yeah, but in reality, no one can play alone in this, yeah. So day before yesterday, we were also discussing about the power of ecosystem, creating a win-win, and big cheers to AIM for bringing the entire ecosystem together to really exchange thoughts and ideas. So yeah, we should have more of these events.
Yeah, so quickly, right? So fantastic forum, AM, great work. It's not easy to get so many of us together and walk in the same line. But great way to exchange ideas, thoughts. Great way to network, right? Great way to kind of talk about common problems and issues that we have, as well as solutions, right? And I would love this to kind of continue to mature. So, for example, next time we could probably have GCCs as well as some partners that we could also start bringing in. I know we spoke about startups, we spoke about universities. Maybe get a few of them also to be here, which will help us really collaborate with them and also accelerate this entire thought around innovation. But great platform, and thanks a lot for getting this done.
Wonderful. A big round of applause for both the leaders. And thank you so much, both of you gentlemen. It's been a true pleasure speaking with you. And very, very, very illuminating. Thank you so much.